Hello everyone, this week's Parsha is Parsha Mishpatim. I heard this dvar Torah a few years ago from Rav Bernstein, and he got this dvar Torah from HaKtav veHaKabalah, who was a massive Talmud Chacham who lived about 200 years ago. And these are his comments to a pasuk, the second to last pasuk of our Parsha. It's chapter 24, verse 17, right at the end. Here we go. So, Umarek Kvod Hashem K'esh Ochelet Berosh Har Le'enei B'nei Israel. The appearance of the glory of Hashem was like a consuming fire on the mountaintop before the eyes of the children of Israel. Now to this, HaKtav veHaKabalah asks two pointed questions. Question one, we seem to be describing God like a consuming fire, which you might think, on first reaction, like, okay, but the problem is, says HaKtav veHaKabalah, Jews don't ascribe physicality to God. Now, even though a fire isn't as physical as, say, like a chair or a stone or a piece of wood or anything like that, it's still a physical apparition. It still has physicality to it, and Jews don't ascribe physicality to God. So what is this pasuk doing, describing God as an Eish Ochelet? And second, what is an Eish Ochelet? There's a principle that the Torah does not waste words. There are many dvar Torah even on single letters being added to the Torah. That's actually one of the messages of veHaMishpatim as opposed to HaMishpatim. So what is Eish Ochelet? Now what's the problem? Because it says a consuming fire. Well, okay, so that's what a fire does. It consumes. But therein lies the problem. Because we know that a fire naturally consumes anything that is combustible, why does the pasuk need to tell us that it's a consuming fire? We know that already. That's in the nature of fire to consume things. Why do we need to be told that it's a consuming fire? Just say a fire, and from that we can infer that it's a consuming fire. Those are the two questions. And to this, HaKtav veHaKabalah responds. He says, the first question is moot, because we're not ascribing physicality to God, because it's not describing God. This isn't describing God on the giving end, but rather is describing us, Bnei Israel, on the receiving end. What do we mean? The Torah has never changed. The Torah is just as wondrous and glorious as it always has been. The only question is, how open are we to its message? And in that way, we understand that the Eish Ochelet is actually describing us. And the reason why it's called an Eish Ochelet is because we determine how much Ochelet it is, how consuming it is. Because a fire, what does it do? It consumes things. Things that are more combustible will be more readily and completely consumed by the fire. Things that are less combustible will be less so. Things that are non-combustible will not be consumed by the fire. And therefore, the message here that the pasuk is teaching us is, we determine how combustible we will be to the message of the Torah. How much are we consumed by Torah? And in that way, the HaKtav veHaKabalah is saying, when it says K'eish Ochelet, that's describing us. How ready are we to accept the Torah and to be consumed by it? And that is to say, how combustible are we ready to make ourselves? That's it. Shabbat Shalom.